the Norwegian squad who came to grief. And also one of the Italian riders there from the Team Idea 2010 ASD being dropped at this relentless pace that's being set. Very, very technical finale here. And riders now, without a shadow of a doubt, Magnus, jockeying for position. We do have 2 laps, but of course you need to be near the front because there possibly is going to be some splits.
Yeah, well, there will be, and every time you're going through one of these tight corners, you know, it's the rubber band effect coming out of it, and then also, you know, when you get in the rubber band effect is very difficult to move up anywhere. Whoa. And here we got some more tram lines, and this is not good.
This isn't something you often see. This is something I haven't seen for a long, long time. Yeah, that's not good.
Well, it's certainly it's going to be very difficult for the peloton to deal with that one, and it's all right when you're the first couple of riders, and that may be why the guys were really chasing for. And as we're coming into this climb on the cobblestones, well, what should we call them? Yeah, well, actually, it looked like proper cobblestones actually.
Nice and wide, plenty of room to move up, but you need to get the position right. Looks like the bunch have made their way around that final right-hander without anybody coming off. A few riders, interestingly, taking to the pavement. But this is the finishing drag that we're talking about. We have 4 riders that are broken clear. The guy in blue, the rider in blue, Maciej Kvasna from Team Febelmeyer. And Taco van der Hoorn, really, the gradient is really biting into his legs now, but we're having several attacks now from the front.
Yeah, one of the attacks coming from the Meridiana Kamen team.
That looks like a pretty... Let's have a try and look at the gears. The riders are still riding on the big ring there, but some real aggression being shown here. One of the Italian riders going clear there for the GM cycling team, but there's a great shot of the gradient riders fighting their bikes to get up here. Remember, when they cross the finish line at the top, still 2 laps to go, and the rider across the line first is Maciej Kvasina. So 3 riders breaking clear, 1 or 2 riders still trying to get across. That is a very interesting finale. And where is the leader of the race? There he is.
There he is, yeah.
Just crosses the line, and he has a couple of teammates for company too.
Sorry, Gregor Boller just behind him as well, so they're still there with some numbers from the CSC.
This is really stretching the field out here, and of course the riders drop down. Quite a bit of elevation gain here. Very, very technical finishing circuit indeed. It's one thing climbing on cobbles, but descending on cobbles is another one entirely.
Well, it makes for a very interesting bike handling ability. It's certainly not easy.
So
it is a beautiful circuit, though, I've got to say. It's 1 or 2 little spots here that obviously is going to be a bit on the dangerous side for the riders with the tram lines, but apart from that, it's a really beautiful circuit so far.
Definitely with the rider on the front in black at the moment. That's Yuri Kiliu of the Anders Willems, the Belgian, driving this group clear. We have somebody's come across from the bunch, one of the Italian riders, to make a 4-man group, but I can see CCC Sprandovici not too far behind. So the bunch now a little bit fragmented. The vast majority of our breakaway group of 8 riders has now been caught. We're on the first of 2 laps in this beautiful city of Zagreb. We now have a lead group of 6 riders. One of the riders from CCC, Sprandi Polkovici, joining the lead 4. And also there, just at the back, in the red and blue, with the checkers, is a rider from Meridiana Cayman team. And these riders are opening up a bit of a lead, but a very, very technical circuit. At least the riders have had a good glance at the approach to the climb with those tram lines.
Yeah, they definitely will know a bit more how to place themselves and what to do about it. But you know, looking at that, it's about what 8 to 10 riders, and I think that rider from CCC, Sprandi Polkovic, on the back there is actually Branislav Simulau. So if it is that, and I haven't managed to sort of just catch exactly if it is him, then obviously that's a very good position for them to be. But there's a whole train of CCC riders coming up in the next group on the road as well.
Well, fair play to Maciej Kvasina of Team Febelmeyer Simplon Wales, the Austrian squad. He's a Croatian, absolutely gunning it today. He's been out in front and he's still willing to take turns on the front. But one of the teams who's miffed the split here is Team Idea 2010 ASD. Riding hard to bring this gap down, but closely marshalled by the troops of CCC Sprandi Polkovic. The gap only a few seconds there, but the bunch really splitting. Given the technical and difficult nature of this finishing circuit, Magnus, this is going to be a real battle royale for the final.
Well, it will be, and I think the difficulty is going to be to time that finish ride, not to go too early, but still not going too late and leaving yourself too much work to do. You know, sometimes you can actually let someone go hard from the bottom and leave them get you know, 10, 15, 20 meters, and just basically sit there and wait for them to die off, and you sort of starting to catch up and make that big effort right at the you know, within the last 150 meters. So it's going to be like I said, a very tricky one to time and judge.
Certainly, there's only 8 kilometers to go now, and still Maciej Kawazina, super aggressive today. Right, absolutely riding out of his skin, and now riding away from that group. Remember, this is one of the riders that has been in front all day. As we see a shot of the Zagreb Cathedral. Absolutely glorious. What a wonderful city it is. And clearly this rider in blue, absolutely inspired, riding on home soil, but being closely marshalled by Kiliu of Verandas Willems. The Belgian now closing that gap. Looks like the bunch around 5 or 6 seconds behind. But it's a very technical finishing circuit here, bit like a large criterium, Maggie.
It is a big criterium, but such an awesome circuit so far, and I certainly would have liked to race this one. Not too sure about the final climb.
Maybe the tram lines.
But everything in between it, I do like.
What it does, it makes it for exciting racing. It also makes it very difficult to chase as well. Given how technical it is, it's not flat, it's gently undulating, there's lots of lefts and rights, you've got the cobble climb. It makes it very difficult to get a concerted chase, as the bunch is effectively, Maggie, in just one long line now.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you know, we spoke to Vladimir Miholovic yesterday evening, and they said it was pretty promised a spectacular finish, and I think this circuit is definitely going to live up to that.
He certainly hasn't disappointed. I do apologise if you heard any oohs and ahs earlier on. That was when the riders, from me, that was when the riders hit those tram lines. We saw 1 or 2 riders come to grief. Fortunately, they'll know what's coming up, but it does make the approach and getting the right sort of momentum for that climb very difficult. Riders, of course, choosing different lines. And it looks like there's only maybe a metre and a half in between each of those tram lines. But as I say, at least it's right. At least the riders have seen that. It does make for a very interesting and technical finale. But now we have the team of Adria Mobile really driving hard at the front. We saw this rider in action doing a very long lead out yesterday. Okay, Marco Kumpf, a very fast finisher indeed. He already has taken out stage 2 of this race and sits well up in the points classification, so look out for him in the blue. Can't see him at the moment, but again, this isn't... Explain this sort of finish. What kind of rider does it suit? It can suit the sprinters, but is it a little bit too long at 500 metres? Will it suit more the punchers or even the climbers?
Well, it is an interesting one, that, because I'd say a true sprinter from back in the day, no way it would get up this kind of a climb to have a go at it. The sprinter of today, in today's professional cycling, is becoming more and more not a good climber, but an able climber, and that kind of opens up these kind of stages to them as well. So I think it's a finish that can. It's for the punchier rider that does like the, should we call it, almost like the Ardennes Classics type of races.
Just a sharp intake of breath from me. Just a pause there as it went through the kilometre to go flag and then swung onto those tram lines before then swinging off. Looks like it's about 150-metre stretch. Now they're on the foot of the climb to the line. A great shot there. 1 or 2 hazards there, but the rider's picking the right-hand line, and you will often see this. You see it in Paris-Roubaix, you see it in the Tour of Flanders. If there's an opportunity for riders to take to the pavement, to take to the footpaths, they will. It's far smoother. It's easier to get the power down. And again, balancing the power distribution over the bike, Magnus. You know, you've won the biggest cobble race, one of the biggest races in the world in Paris-Roubaix. Especially when you're riding on a climb, getting the power down is in itself a skill and an art form.
Yeah, it certainly is. But it comes down to gear selection a lot of the time, and not actually going too big a gear and grinding your way to the top of it. You need to sort of find that smooth pedaling style, and it takes a fair bit of practice to get that right. But looking at these riders, they're certainly going up, and interesting to see. It's one of the Verandas Willems riders who's certainly will be feeling at home on the cobblestones, being a Belgian.
He certainly will. Well, it's the rider that coming across. We haven't quite identified who the rider is from Sprandi Polkovic, but we think it is Simolau. But he has got Yuri Kiliu with him from Verandas Willems, and also the race leader goes across the line as well.
Gabola there as well, and
it looks like Kumpf was also there in the blue jersey.
Yeah.
So the bunch really being split. That's a pretty elite group that's going through at the moment. I just saw Gregor Bola. And here's the rest of the weary troops. What a finish this is going to turn out to be. 5 kilometres to go. 1 finishing circuit of Zagreb. Who is it going to be? So we're now into the final lap, the final circuit, the final stage, in fact, of the Tour of Croatia. Just under 5 kilometres to go. And to be fair to the organisers, what an absolutely stunning, spectacular, intriguing finishing circuit they have planned today. A cobble climb, technical descents, tram lines, corners. Absolutely spectacular stuff. And now we have an elite group of riders going clear, including the race leader, Maciej Peterski. He's there riding on third wheel in the moment, in the red and the white checkered jersey. And as we thought, Magnus, this group now going clear, but 3 riders from Sprandi Polkovici, this is what they want. They're now in control.
Well, they are in control, and this is what we kind of expected to happen as well. 2 Veranda Willems riders in there as well, one from Rosvelo. Interesting.
Yeah, pretty good combination of riders. A great tuck there. Getting nice and aerodynamic. We also have one of the Rosvelo riders. We'll get these names for you as soon as we can. And it looks like we can also see one of the riders from Team Felbermayr just sat on the back there. Good to see them in the mix. The riders now rounding these corners. Some great aerial shots here. Remarkably technical finishing circuit. And these riders now, with under 4 kilometres to go, opening a gap. Looks like David Vigano is also in that move. A real journeyman professional, remarkably experienced. Spent a year with Team Sky, don't forget. So a rider that's ridden at the best level. And the 3 riders we have from Sprandi Polkovici. We have Gregor Boll, Peterski, the race leader, and Marek Rukiewicz. So they have some riders in strength, so a great breakaway. And also the other rider from Verandas Williams, who's ridden extremely well considering he was in the breakaway. And that's Yuri Keliu. And then rider number 84 is Groshenscharter. He was a rider that did spend a short period of time in the best young riders jersey. So good to see him in the mix there. And then we have number 74, Roman Makin, a very fast finisher from Rosvelo. So there is your breakaway. And with 3 kilometres to go, this looks like it could be, Magnus, the move of the day.
Well, I think it is the move of the day. The interesting bit is going to be, I think, to move someone like Davide Vigano around coming into this final climb. He's a very, very seasoned professional, and if he's got any legs left, then he will definitely be a man to be reckoned with.
With 2.5 kilometres to go, and around one of these very technical left-handers, the bunch has been reduced, I reckon, there to only around 40, maybe 50 riders maximum. And they are in sight, and they're being, the chase is actually being led by the Adria Mobile squad. They're only a couple of 100 metres behind, so the gap isn't as significant as we originally thought. They are managing to try and bring this back. This is going to be a very, very exciting finale indeed.
Well, Gregor Boll getting on the front there together with Rukiewicz, just to drive this on and try and make sure that they're keeping clear for Peterski, who's clearly been going very, very well so far. But this could also play into the hands of the other riders that they got with them, and you know, we're very impressed with the 2 Veranda Willems riders the other day when they managed to stay out there and clearly going very well.
They certainly are. I think it does show a lot of talent. If you can actually hold on, it's hard enough holding on sometimes to the bunch when you're on the flat and you've been out in the front all day, but to hold on and actually accelerate away from the group on a climb like that does show that this rider is on form. And that rider is Yuri Kiliu. Look out for him in the black. He's wearing number 92. So only 1.5 kilometres to go. Remember, the riders will soon swing onto those tram lines before then swinging right and onto the climb. And still, CCC Sprandi Polkovici lead. Gregor Boll in second place, and Peterski riding in fourth wheel just behind the Belgian from Verandas Willems.
Yeah, they certainly are, but looking at the pressure that the 2 CCCs, Sprandi Polkovici riders are putting on the front here now, the riders actually struggling on the wheel, a few of them, and you know, they're clearly very keen on making sure that they're getting into the bottom of this climb clear of everyone. And obviously this is for Peterski, this is the safest place to be now. He's got a couple of riders to deal with, and then, you know, turning into the climb, he's got space to move around as well. So they're doing a great job in just driving this as hard as they can, and then leaving their man to deal with the final couple of 100 metres up the hill.
Well, that gap is foreshortened a bit. They still have around 100 metres, and an amazing turn here by Rukiewicz. Hasn't missed a beat, and now Gregor Boll, already with a stage win, gets on the front, hands on the hoods, and look at that. Rukiewicz swings into second wheel. He's still got something left in the tank, And then you have the Belgian sat in third wheel. He looks pretty dangerous. That's Yuri Khalil. Watch out for him in black. Sat there very stealthily. Fourth wheel at the moment is the race leader, Maciej Petersky. Just behind him is the Russian Roman Makin. Very, very fast finisher. And just sat near the back of that group, the very, very dangerous number 121. That's a David Vignano, riding for Team Adia 2010. Great finish here. Under the 1 kilometre to go flag for the peloton. And the riders just negotiate that final right-hander. And here it is, the final climb.
Final climb coming up, and this is now the timing of this, and also it's an important part for the CCC riders not to go too hard for Petersky too early, because they obviously got some power with them, and just putting the pressure on too early is really going to leave Petersky in the spot of bother.
There's actually 2 riders there from Verandas Williams at the moment. On the left-hand side is Khalil. In the centre of your picture is Petersky, the leader, but at the moment it's Grosjean-Schneider, turning a huge gear in the blue on the centre. Then the Russian on the left-hand side in the red, Roman Makin, goes for it. This is the peloton absolutely split to bits, but it's the leader of the race. Spinning a gear, sat down in the saddle. Maciej Petersky on absolutely sublime form at the moment. Goes round the final right-hander, opens it up, rises himself out of the saddle. What an absolutely spectacular win. Second stage win for Petersky. Coming across the line in second place was Grosjean-Schneider. Great ride for him. But Maciej Petersky, in the leader's jersey of CCC's Brandy Polkovice, takes his second stage win to seal the overall win in the Tour of Croatia. Well, yeah, there we go, Maggie. What a win.
Great move by Petersky there, and just following for as long as he could, seated as well. There's one thing with the cobbled uphill sprint, is the moment you get out of the seat, you got a specific amount of time before your legs just explode, and Petersky clearly knew this and was able to do the job. And you know, what better way to finish off a stage race and winning the final stage in the leader's jersey.
It's not something you often see, but an absolutely spectacular finale. I doff my cap to the race organisers for that one. So as we see the rest of the peloton climbing the climb to the finish line, this is Maciej Petersky just getting the plaudits of his teammates. Fantastic win for him, 28 years of age. A couple of wins already this year. That's his second stage win.